Mark Zawacki. I'm a coach and advisor and mentor to the Holland and the Valley program. I'm based here in San Francisco. I spend about 75% of my time with corporates and about 25% of my time with startups. All those corporates are in Europe. Pre-pandemic, I was going to Europe about once or twice a month. A long history with the Netherlands. I've lived there formally for 7 years and worked with many large multinationals in the Netherlands. So my eldest 2 children were even born in Holland. So one foot in Holland, it seems. My son supports Feyenoord.
Hey, and what's keeping you busy these days?
You know, we're in the middle of this coronavirus thing and pandemic, and I think it's the most amazing time to innovate. The boundaries between every industry are flexing. And so I think the ones that pay attention and go do things are going to get ahead. And I fear that companies that are shy or pull back or maybe risk adverse could fall further behind. So the most amazing time when you start looking at all these different industries, the winners are the ones that are moving, the losers are going to be the ones that stay put.
And can you tell me something about the biggest lesson learned in Silicon Valley?
This is such a massive ecosystem, right? Go on Wikipedia and there's 100 places called Silicon Blank. And I even think, although the Randstad isn't considered a Silicon Blank, it's still this tech cluster. But only here in Silicon Valley do you have such a massive startups and corporates and big giant tech companies and all the service providers around that, the VCs, the lawyers, the consultants, the PR experts. It's quite unique. Some of this happens in Holland, some of this happens elsewhere in Europe, but at a much smaller scale.
What is a secret surprising insight about Silicon Valley you can share with us?
It's all about the networks. It's all about who you know. You'll have a much greater chance of making progress if you have a network. If you come in cold and don't know many people, you haven't really paid your dues yet. So how do you best build that network, work through the Dutch community, work through your mentors? It's a very open and accessible once you start forming those relationships. Relationships are the currency to do stuff.
What is your best advice for Dutch startups?
You got to think big, and particularly when it comes to maybe raising money here. That's wonderful if you can build a 20, 30, even 50 million euro business. That's wonderful, and then it's very hard to do. But in Silicon Valley, people it sounds crazy and it's very American, but they're looking for that next billion euro idea. And they're not interested in a $50 million company, right? They're only interested if that company's going to be a billion euro company, a unicorn. That's kind of the mark they set. And I think the mistake a lot of Dutch companies make coming into the US is they're just not thinking big enough. The ecosystem here is not interested in a small deal, right? And it's not a negative against you. But you have to think of what their opportunity cost is. They're seeing bigger things to work on with bigger payouts. And bigger things just attract more interest all around. Yeah. So think big. Don't think too small.
Hey, and one more. What kind of startup scale-ups could reach out to you as a mentor?
So primarily those that are looking for some kind of corporate partnership or working in an ecosystem with corporates. And those can be across many sectors. I've worked in financial services, media, telco, retail, energy, automotive, so many sectors. I think secondarily, what are the lessons learned about really crossing, at the right time to come over to the U.S. seriously? I think those 2 issues I probably have the most expertise in. Fundraising is a very, very different game. I'm happy to talk to people about that, but unless the startup is prepared to move here and kind of burn the ships like the Viking, metaphor. It's a tough game to raise money from California if you decide to still reside in the Netherlands. It's been done, but very difficult.
Yeah. So Mark, what mentor should we meet next?
Great question. So the next mentor up for bat, as we say, is Anka Haskis.
Great. Bye.
Okay. Bye.